Before Foolio would become one of the most promising rappers to emerge out of Jacksonville, Florida, with his songs like Double That and SRT. Before Foolio would become embroiled in a bitter feud with fellow Jacksonville rapper Youngin Ace, one that would turn deadly.
I saw one of his little homeboys in the mall being with in a fight or something.
Before Foolio would have over 300,000 subscribers on YouTube, 30,000 followers on Twitter, as well as 750,000 followers on Instagram at the time of this recording, Foolio was an American rapper who's produced music since 2015 and found his big breakthrough moment 3 years later with his hit single Crooks.
Write it in the books, I'm a crook, tell by the look, got these I'm a vet and you steady real.
For those of us who have a handle on his life story, his making a name for himself off of that song is one of those strange coincidences of art imitating life. Because if Foolio grew up learning how to do anything on the streets of Jacksonville, it was of the less than legal variety. Hell, even after establishing himself as a musical force, Foolio still dealt with the deadly ramifications of his feuds from the city streets. But how did his past keep cropping up time and time again into the new life that he made for himself? Keep watching our newest episode of Before They Were Gone to find out. Foolio was born Charles Jones on June 21, 1998 in Duval County, an area of Jacksonville, Florida, which was a dangerous spot to grow up in, to say the least. When Foolio took the time to reflect back on his past, he didn't often bring up his parents or other family members. Instead, what clearly left the biggest impression on him are the connections he made on the streets and the friends he lost along the way. It was such a difficult upbringing that the only outlet Foolio had at his disposal was to turn his hardships into musical lyrics and purge his demons with therapy by writing rap songs while listening to acts like Eminem, Lil Wayne, and 50 Cent. While he was learning a lot in the streets, in terms of his in-class education, Foolio attended school all the way up to 9th grade. But that year he got shot in the hip while stepping off of the school bus and his whole life changed. After that close call, Foolio made the decision that he was far too easy of a target and dropped out of school altogether. With limited employment options, it was at this point in his life that Foolio decided to embrace the journey of becoming a rapper. First things first, let's get one thing straight about Foolio's name. Despite what some people believe, Julio is not actually officially part of his rap name. It's simply part of his social media handles.
Julio is not even like part of my rap name. That's just how it is on Instagram. I've been.
After tinkering away in the studio for about a year, Foolio began to receive some early notice for a song titled Coming Up, featuring Stunt and Loss, which dropped in 2015 and earned around 500,000 views in only about a month. In fact, this single found itself getting streamed enough times online that Foolio was able to book himself local gigs at Jacksonville nightclubs, including his favorite venue at the time, the strip club Mascaras, where he networked on the regular. By the following year, he was ready to drop his first project, Who I Am, which contained 12 tracks, including the hit Reach the Top, which would further establish Foolio as a musical force to be reckoned with.
Jump up out of town, I don't give a damn, I be going ham.
Then, in 2017, Foolio dropped his second mixtape, the aptly named Industry Invasion, which featured Feel It, a song that would become his first to cross the 1 million view mark on YouTube. All of this hard work set the table for the biggest year of Foolio's career in 2018, when he teamed up with the super producer Zaytoven to release the album Sixtoven, which featured the monster hit Crooks, the song that would turn him into a viral sensation. He then followed that track up with the 1-2 punch of Slide and Voodoo, all of which had their music videos released on World Star Hip Hop to more views than ever. By 2020, he was producing music at an even more frantic pace, dropping 2 albums, Top Conniver and Love Me Like I'm Dead, in that 1 year alone. But here's the thing, as much as Foolio has made his name off of the back of some killer tracks, he's also seen his name in the news under some pretty horrific circumstances, like that time in 2020 when both he and his partner were shot at and his girl ended up catching a bullet. Thankfully, she ended up okay, but it was definitely a close call. So why did this happen? Well, ever since his time growing up on the streets of Jacksonville, Foolio has been unable to extricate himself from his former activities. In fact, there are 2 major rival factions in Jacksonville right now. ATK, whose star rapper is Youngin Ace, and KTA, who's headlined by none other than Foolio. Now, this beef has been going on for years, long before Foolio was a viral star, and it escalated in May of 2017 with the ending of 19-year-old Zion Brown, Foolio's cousin. From that point on, hardly a year has gone by when someone from either group hasn't lost a member to gun violence. It's an incredibly dark story, one worth perhaps pursuing in another video, say the dark side of the Jacksonville music scene. But the violent nature of it means it doesn't really have a place here in the story of Foolio's come up, other than to provide context. What's important to know for now is that youngin Ace dropped a song called Who I Smoke, which went viral before people came to the realization that it was actually a diss track in disguise, directed at those members in KTA who have lost their life in Jacksonville over the past few years. Of course, many of the men mentioned were good friends of Foolio, and he wasn't going to take this lying down. Only a few weeks later, he'd strike back with the track When I See You, which does much the same thing as Who I Smoke, only from the other side of the equation, with Foolio name-dropping passed away ATK members. Most recently, it looks like the rambunctious personality Foolio maintained had caught up with him. He was caught in his car on his 26th birthday in Tampa on the 21st of June 2024, an encounter he wouldn't walk away from. Be sure to let us know what you thought about this story in the comments down below, and let us know if you want to see the dark side of Jacksonville's music scene video as well. Follow us on Instagram at @BeforeTheyWereFamous to vote on what else is next. I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.